go for another one now. Are you going to talk?
Yeah, and I think that the program is going to do a little Q&A. So
okay.
let me read the program here. When you get older, you will learn. All right. So, by the way, this is what you can see it from there. We don't have the graphic up on the screen, but there's the big X. You will see this in all the promotions. You'll see this in spots that start running on MTV and MTV2. I think we just estimated today a couple of hundred spots that will run a week before the special. We're going to have an avatar of a little X dancing around with the bottom strip of the watching TV. It's going to be pretty cool. Okay, guys, so 2 years ago, let's talk about. We're in the studio last night till about 2 in the morning. 2 years ago, before this whole voyage and dream started, why don't you talk about your vision of where you were, where you thought you'd be, and where you are?
About 2 years ago. Man, where were we 2 years ago? I don't even know. We were probably at home sitting around doing nothing. But 2 years ago, we were sitting around in Boomer's garage practicing every single day, 5 or 6 hours a day. And then we'd go home and we'd practice more on our own. We were just normal kids, just jamming, having fun. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're just normal kids, jamming, doing what we love, writing our music, and, letting it move other people. And that's all we've wanted to do with this. This journey to where we're at now is unbelievable. Like, we never, ever thought we'd be here right now. We've got all this stuff with MTV and albums and all different kinds of stuff in our future. And it freaks us out because we're the same old kids sitting in that garage just jamming for the fun of it so we can show our parents that we just wrote a new song when we're 11 years old, But it's just amazing.
Hey, Jesse, what do you think from a breakthrough standpoint in your evolution as a songwriter, as a player, and where you kind of see yourself just from a musician standpoint, you and the band as a team? Kind of, what are your thoughts on from an influence standpoint, certain things that have caused you to kind of break through and evolve as a player?
Well, we've all grown together, definitely. And, like you said, practicing every day, whether together or at home. And then sitting in the practice room, playing the same song, 20 times in a row, you get pretty good at it after a while. I mean, all four of us have definitely grown musically, and our personalities have definitely changed over the years. So we've definitely grown together, I would say.
Our hair has changed too, a lot. Every video we do, there's a different hairstyle on each of us.
Hey, Boomer, how do you feel about your dad being on the road with you all the time, being your drum tech?
I hate it.
Now, seriously, Bill Simpson, Boomer's dad, is the business manager of the band. He runs the band on the road. And Jesse's dad, Scott, does all the guitar. He's a musical director. He drills the band down from a musical standpoint. So it's kind of cool that it's very, very pure. They've kind of groomed the kids from the ground up, and I guess they coached you guys, right? Jesse, you were at Guitar Center, right, when you connected with the band?
Josh.
I'm sorry, Josh. I'm sorry.
He was sitting around Guitar Center.
Yeah, you were sitting at Guitar Center. How did you feel when you got the call that 3 buds of yours, or were they buds, or did you even know about them when you got plugged in?
I had never met him before in my life.
And the child molester over there.
Yeah. Boomer's dad came over to me while I was just playing, just looking at basses, and he asked me if my dad was there with me. And I go, what? As soon as my dad sees me talking to this strange man that I've never seen before, he comes running over there.
And he's an ex-wrestler, too, so you're in real trouble.
Yeah.
That's not before Bill says, how old are you?
Yeah. Asked me about my age, and then we ended up just talking about, he asked me if I wanted to play in a band, and I said, sure. And I just ended up playing with him later that day.
Yeah, that night he ended up staying in my house.
Yep.
That's when you know you're meant to be, when you meet him in one day and he's already spending the night at your house.
What's really been amazing to me is I'm kind of a rock and roll refugee, so I really understand and feel the music, and I have most of my life. These kids know more about rock and rock history and influences. Josh, let me ask you again. I'll put you back on the spot. Talk about some of the music that kind of moves you and has influenced you.
I've always been a fan of, old 80s grunge and stuff like that. Like, one of my favorite bands is a band called Soundgarden. Another, I love the Melvins, if anyone's heard of them. Anyone? Cool.
We got one. Bingo. Hey, Forrest, what do you think? Because you're totally into all kinds of music.
Yeah. My influences go literally from the hardest, fastest, or slowest death metal you can get your hands on, and I'm talking the crazy stuff, to bands like Death Cab for Cutie and all the little that most guys would call like pansy bands and stuff like that. Anything that I can really groove to or enjoy, or anything that involves talent, I'll listen to. Hip hop, a lot of hip hop, a lot of good hip hop, not the crappy kind that you hear on the radio all the time. Not so much. I'm talking Public Enemy, all that good stuff.
Well, speaking of that, when all of you go pick up the record, there's the third track on the album is called Time Is Now. It's kind of an anthem for, we don't have time to mess around with kids, but this is our time. There's a 16-bar break in the middle of this that we've kind of laid up for a rap, and we are talking to various different rappers. I think the most radical thing, listening to Forrest not liking things that are that commercial, we're actually going to be meeting with the Game, who's a real gangster. And we have a very deep. It's cool though, but he could use a break. We'll help him out. Red Bull, we have a very deep alliance with Red Bull. One of their artists is a guy named Lupe Fiasco, and he's also very interested in getting involved with us. So there's a possibility Walk This Way for this gen could wind up in the midst of the song Time Is Now, which I'll then turn over the tapes to one of these guys, because they could do mixes on it I could never even dream of. The only thing is that Jesse might have to redo some guitar parts to sound a little more gangster, which is all cool. So Boomer, who are some of your drum influences?
Joey Jordison from Slipknot. That's like my ultimate. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see, the thing that's really important, part of this, the Grammy Museum, everything that you guys are doing, everything Fender's about, which is music education, which I'm very much about too, is just talking about these kinds of things. So the dialogue we're having isn't just typical PR stuff. It's actually going deep into what the music is and why these kids are a little, I don't want to say different, but really special in that they really pay attention, they get the music, they play it, they feel it, and they live it, which is actually very, very cool. Where do you see yourself, Jesse, dream-wise, 10 years from now?
Playing music somewhere. Probably with these guys still. If I had killed them.
Exactly. We're not all dead. We'll still be together.
Well, I don't think there's an expiration date. When you listen to their record, you'll hear it's pretty timeless, which is cool. One of the key buyers at Walmart the other day sent me an email and said he feels as strong about this as he did when he first heard Appetite for Destruction. Some of the reviews, we had this one review on, what was it, either Absolute Punk or Decibel, that said Axl Rose could listen to Forrest and get some singing lessons. It's pretty cool. I know, it's sick, but it's all good. I didn't say that, they did. If you were going to give somebody advice, Forrest, kid's counterpart, you're 15.
Any kind of advice. Probably the best advice that I could ever give anybody, and this is coming straight from my heart, is to always keep your faith in God, because He'll get you anywhere and everywhere, and stay clean. I mean, that's always been my thing. As long as I've got God, I'm good to go no matter what, and I've never touched alcohol or drugs, and I plan to keep it that way.
Jesse, as a musician, people wanting to have the chops to do your thing, what do you say?
Put your mind to what you want to do and practice and never stop.
True that. Like I said, we go from practice to going home to practice. To practice, exactly.
All right, well, speaking of that, let's practice another song. This is a song that came to life beyond words on, I think it was December 13th, the guys were asked by the Dallas Cowboys to perform their halftime show at the close of Texas Stadium. And when the whole Cowboys organization heard the album, they picked the songs they were going to perform in front of, what was it, 60, 70,000 people. This song, the rock version of it, called You Gotta Bleed Sometimes to Get What You Need Sometimes. The Cowboy cheerleaders actually did a halftime routine with the song.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Amen.
And since I can't do that, I'm getting off the stage. This is called Bleed.
Come on, Spencer, you can dance, man. Sing it. Come on, dude. Give him a little disco. All right, let's hit it. You guys ready?
One more, oh, the Hail Mary right down the line. Gotta take my shot, now's my time. You know when you're in the game, you're gonna have to feel some pain. Give it all, not give it out. That's what it's all about. Well, if they leave me, it won't defeat me. You gotta bleed sometimes to get what you need. Sometimes, sooner or later, you're gonna say you gotta bleed. Yeah, I swear, trying to score. If I miss, I try some more. In case you ever had a doubt, at the bottom looking down, what goes around comes back around. You gotta do what you gotta do to find a way to make it through. Well, it might shake me, but it won't break me. You gotta bleed sometimes to get what you need. Sometimes, sooner or later, you're gonna say you gotta bleed. You gotta bleed sometimes to get what you need. Sometimes, sooner or later, you're gonna say you gotta wait. Sometimes, to get what you need. Sometimes, sooner or later, you're gonna say you gotta wait. You got to wait. You gotta wait. Thank you guys.
Just take it.
You're gonna. We're gonna open up to questions.
Yeah, so now that you've gotten to go know the guys a little bit and hear a little bit about their story, I want to open it up to any of you, especially those of you who raised your hand in the beginning and said you were musicians. This is your opportunity to talk with some of your peers and find out, get some advice from them as well. So, anyone have any questions? What about school?
Homeschooling. Yeah.
Do you have your, when you travel, do you have like a teacher that comes with you?
Nope. It's internet courses.
Yeah, it's all online.
So we, there's always Google. If all else fails, there's Google. I mean, we have pretty smart parents, so I mean they can help us.
Pretty smart.
Pretty smart. I'm not. Some of them. Anybody else? Yeah.
What was your big break? Like, at some point you probably had something that really touched you along the way.
We got on the CBS early morning show, and that was it.
National TV. That's all it takes. Is just get that little bitty push, and you got it all going on right there. The funny thing is on that we got on the CBS morning show. We got on the CBS morning show, and we did a national contest, and we ended up getting second place to an opera singer. It was a little 8-year-old opera singer.
CBS early morning show at 8:30 in the morning.
There aren't too many metalheads on that really, so it's all right. Anybody else got anything? Yeah.
Do you find it hard to sing and play at the same time?
In the very beginning, I couldn't at all. I was 11 years old, and I fought with my parents so long about that because, they support us and my parents pushed me in the beginning, and they said, you can do this, you can do it, you can do whatever you want, and they knew that back then, I worshipped the ground that James Hetfield walked on. I was like, oh, you're my hero, Metallica, and, I always wanted to be able to do that, but I never could. Well, for one thing, I couldn't sing. I have only been singing for 2 or 3 years now, but, it took a little while, but once you get the hang of it, it's so easy, except for certain riffs will kill you. But after you play them over and over and over again, to where you can read a book and play at the same time, then you'll be able to just do it. It feels like 2 totally different things.
That kind of goes for all of us. We were pretty atrocious when we first started.
We were bad.
But,
we were bad.
Like I said, man, just practice, and that's how we got here.
Seriously, anything you want to do, if you want to sing or play guitar or sing and play the guitar, if you can't do it, don't even think that. There's no such thing. You can. You just got to keep doing it until you can. And I know I'm giving you the corniest advice possible, but it's true. Anybody else got any? Yeah.
Do you read music?
I'm a band geek. I don't read guitar music, but I'm a regional national or first chair regional percussionist and all that stuff. But I'm not in band anymore now that I'm not in school. But I can read a lot of different kinds of music, just not guitar. We can read tab, but I think anybody can. Anybody else? Yeah.
Who are your music mentors? Is there like a parent who was a musician?
His dad. We all knew how to play our instruments. Like, we could totally play.
Just not well.
Just not well. Yeah, not well.
He's been playing bands for 20 years, and he's sitting right there. Actually.
Raise your hand. That's the man.
He's been playing bands for 20 years now, and I've been sitting on stage with him since I was 2 years old, watching him play. So, he definitely got me into it. And today is his birthday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. He's 17. Well, we all knew how to play our instruments, and we could all do it fine. But we had never been in a band before, and we were 11 years old. When you're 11 years old, it's like, what do we do? And he was the one that really took us in. And the first thing he told us, he stopped everybody, sat us down. He said, "All right, let's tune our guitars." And it was just off from there, And he taught us how to structure songs and all that. And nowadays, we're in practice, and he'll be like, "All right, do this," and we're like, "No." Now if he's lucky if he gets us to do one thing. But we're so thankful to have him and all the parents that supported us through all this. We couldn't do anything without them. Anybody else?
Question in the back.
Hi, good evening. Karen here. I'd like to know if you're willing to compose original score music for movies or for animation series and television series.
Absolutely.
If you,
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah,
it'd be fun. You have to talk to that man about it over there.
He's the dude.
He's the dude.
He is the dude.
We just play music. That's all we do. We don't do nothing else.
The beautiful thing about them, the song Adrenaline was originally born. There's a unit called PBR, Professional Bull Riders, and they got wind of these guys, and they felt that because they play AC/DC and Metallica music at rodeos with 10,000 people, although it's not necessarily just a country audience, I talked to the CEO of the company, and he thought, how cool would it be if these guys wrote a theme song for us that we could play on our jumbotrons and play in between some of the rides. So Adrenaline was born, which is the video you saw, and if you saw some of that footage, the bull riding footage, that's the 15 100 Pounds of Adrenaline. That song happened to have an application beyond just PBR. So they will do custom things. I'm talking to the heads of a few studios now about opportunities to actually put something in a Spider-Man, Iron Man type of movie.
I didn't even know that.
No.
That's awesome.
You know why? In the Bill Simpson tradition of throw a lot of spaghetti against the wall, and when it starts to stick, then I tell you about it. But anyway, yeah, the goal is to have them. We're building an affiliation now with an Omnicom unit called GMR, and they represent a number of major brands across the country. One of our hopes is that we'll get a chance to custom do things for a particular brand that is totally in the demographic of where these kids live. And yeah, the answer is yeah.
And I can tell you guys, we're like digging the crap out of these questions. So if you have any question about anything, ask. Yeah. It's everybody, anybody, and everybody in this band.
All four of us.
Yeah,
definitely.
One of us will go home. Well, I'll get to you in a second. One of us will come home. We'll jam on a riff, and it will bring it to practice. Everybody will mess around with it. There's a lot of bands that write with formulas. They'll be like intro, riff, chorus, verse, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and they have to do a bridge and all this stuff, and here. We don't do that. We do whatever sounds right and feels right for us. Whether it may end up being the formula, but
it may suck, but at least it sounds good to us.
Yeah, if we like it, we don't care if you guys like it. It's just we're doing it for us. I'm just kidding. We want to say thank you for all you guys. I didn't mean that. I promise. All right. Individually, I've been playing guitar about 10 years and singing about 3.
Me also. I've been playing about 10 years.
I've been playing about 4 years.
Yeah, I've been playing about like 4.5, maybe 5.
But together as a band, we've been playing about 4 years. 3 or 4. Yeah, go ahead. Well, I will play anything that I get my hands on. I mean, I played synthesizer. I got you, man. I see you. I played synthesizer in band. I did drum line, anything, any percussion. I play anything with strings. Just whatever I can get my hands on. Yeah, you look really enthused, so I want to get to you next. That's a good question.
Would you guys argue about when you're on the road,
how do we keep from killing each other? Is that what you're asking?
Oh man,
it's very hard, and it takes a long time to learn how to do it.
Well, for one thing, when you're on a bus, it's kind of nice. It's different when you're on a van and a bus. When you're on a bus, you get annoyed, you go get in your little bunk, your little cubby hole, you close that curtain. Nobody just leaves you alone. You sit in the dark for a while until you get on your unless it's me, and then they open the curtain and just put their hands on my face. That was probably the most torture they've ever put me through in my entire life. I'm trying to go to sleep, just reading a book, and they walk in, they tear my curtain open, they start putting their hands on my face. And I'm like, stop! And there's 3 of them, so that's 6 pairs of hands. It was 6 pairs. 6 hands. Sorry. See, this being out of school thing is already killing me here.
What was your first gig like?
Oh, horrible. That was my sister's birthday party, her 16th birthday party. It was actually a lot of fun because it was all of her friends and they all knew us and they were the cool kind of teenagers that were like, yeah, man, come on! And they were all yelling and telling us, go,
we didn't sing in our first 15 shows probably. We played all cover songs in our first show. 3 or 4 months after we got into the band is when we started writing our own songs.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. You've given some great advice and motivation to kids that want to get into music. What about advice for parents who have kids that want to do that?
Force an instrument into their hands.
Do it. I mean, once they're born, they better be born with drumsticks in their hands or something. Because seriously, this is my life, and if I didn't have this music, I don't know what I would do. I would probably be a totally different person. I would be into some weird stuff. But anytime I'm feeling stressed or pressured or anything, I grab my guitar and I write it out. Even if you write it out and throw it away, it doesn't matter as long as you get it out of your system. And you can do anything with music.
And what you're born with is definitely what you love. I mean, I tried band. and you know, playing bells and stuff. But that wasn't for me. I had to go home and learn some new Metallica songs on my guitar. You know, so it's definitely not baby.
And if you take away our instruments, then we're really just a bunch of nerds. I mean, I just got Xbox Live. I got my little headset on, and
Attaboy.
Oh yeah,
And we go on tour in the bus, and we have 3 different Xboxes on the bus, and I have mine hooked up in my bunk, and I sit here and beat Gears of War 2 in like one day, and it's awesome, man. We have a lot of fun. You know, we're just kids.
Pretty much, we're really bored.
Yeah, we're bored kids.
If we're not playing music, we're bored.
But back to the parents thing. If you're a parent and your kid wants to do something with music, push him to his limits, even if he, like, you know.
Don't make him do it, but encourage him to where, you know, you can do whatever you want, you know, because you can.
No, you make them do it. You can slap him
around, show him what's up. Yeah, good.
Who are your 10 top influences?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Metallica,
Pantera.
Black Label
Blackstone
Society.
Cherry.
Yeah,
Black Label Society.
Black Label Society, Blackstone Cherry. Who else do we got?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Hey guys, I don't know if you know, but second week in February, you're doing some gigs in Oklahoma with Blackstone.
I did know that. That is one thing I did know. You did it,
Josh. What?
Yeah, so there you go. All right, we're going to do one more question. Tomorrow night, they're playing the Viper Room up on Sunset. If you get curious, it's an all-ages thing.
I think we got 2 more. So
All right, 2 more. Hands up. Go ahead.
Man, I'm liking this. I don't want to go.
Well, you know what? Sure.
Because you guys are upcoming recording artists, how are you guys able to hold up being away from family?
And that's the hard part.
It's very hard. Being gone all the time really sucks. But, you know, you sacrifice some things for what you love to be able to do what you love and to be able to go out in the world and show our music to other people. I mean, yeah, we don't get to see our family as much, but when you go home, you value the time with your family and friends so much more.
Exactly, and that's what we always make sure to make that point is any time you have with your parents, I mean, you have to. We really, we cherish every moment that we have with our family and friends because you know they may not always be there, and we may be on the road. You know, I mean, you really have to show them you love them all the time.
Do you guys consider that you guys are family as you being a group? Like,
of course, we have to be. We're like married, but worse. We spend more time together than a married couple would, and we
more time arguing.
And we hate each other even more than they do. So,
I think the most in 4 years that we've been away from each other is 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and that was this holiday.
Over the holidays. That's the most. That's the longest break we've ever taken in over 4 years.
Yeah. And none of us wanted to go back. We all went back, and I was like, you again? And they were like, you again. No, bull. We can stop texting each other, trust me. We do everything in our power to get away. We can't stay away from the music, but we can definitely stay away from the people.
All right, one more question.
You know, it's seeing all our heroes. I mean, our heroes, we see them making awesome music and doing all this awesome stuff.
And knowing how, you know, certain albums and certain bands influenced us, we want to be able to influence other people with our music.
I mean, if our music moves one person, I'm satisfied because I know how it feels because I've been moved by so many different bands and my life has been shaped by all the big bands that came out. If it's Led Zeppelin back in the day, I don't even care if they're alive while I'm here, you know. It's the music that lasts no matter what.
And with that, we're going to show you the first act of the MTV special that goes on the air on the 27th. And thank you all. And I guess afterwards we'll show this. If you want to come up and talk to the guys,
yeah, definitely.
Do whatever. The thing that, and I haven't really seen this because I've only been around when they've done interviews and all. I think this whole Q&A thing with people and peers, you guys are great at it. This is like inspirational enough for me to make sure, especially with, you know, now that we're going to have this big agency relationship, you can get out in front of kids, play your music, but also interact. I think that's a good thing. Our goal is to have them be kind of the, you know, one of my business partners, guy Tommy Nash, who's here, coined a phrase.
Is that you?
That's Tommy right there.
Yeah. These guys are going to be the next generation. They hopefully will personify the next generation of rock. And in order to do that, they should be interfacing. All of our videos are going to always have kids in them. Everyone is going to have a major performance aspect. And it's all about this kind of interchange is what I think we should be
Mhm.
striving for.
And before we move on, it doesn't matter if it was inspirational for us. Did you guys enjoy this? Good? Okay, keep doing this? Good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Calvin, for making all this happen, and Dale Breckenfield for getting these amazing guitars.
Tommy Nash
Tommy
for being
Nash,
cool.
I mean, all of our parents, our sound guy, working with all. Charlie.
Charles, for doing whatever you do, nobody even knows. He's just here. But yeah, we'll be down and we'll talk to you guys.
And thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Watching us.
And thank you to Cricket X, all the band members, to Spencer as well for coming down, and to Fender, because Fender really made it possible for us to host this. So thank you all. And we're going to roll tape in just a minute.